Great morning, everyone. We will start in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, you can share on chat where you are joining us from. Hello, good morning, Kalimera, Boker Tov, Jin Dobre, Sabach El Nur, and thank you so much for joining our last webinar in the Gen AI for Software Developer Online V.2 series. My name is Adi Stein Ben-Nun. I'm managing the app innovation business in Azure Southeast Europe. And with me today, we have Moria Dro and Yarden Dor from the Reactor team. And together, we've built up this amazing series of events for you to learn more about generative AI together with the amazing team. So for those of you that are new to our series or to the Reactor program, the reactors are community hubs for developers and startups to meet, learn, and connect. We have physical hubs in different locations around the world, but we also offer programming online where you can join anytime from everywhere, and you can scan this QR code to learn more and to subscribe to our upcoming events. I will give you a minute. So today, this session is, as you can see, part of many great other sessions that we have at the Reactor. We have sessions about Fabric, about recap of the great build that we had last week. We have session about security, about GitHub Copilot, and many more. So you can scan or you can press or just go to this link, aka.ms Reactor, and see relevant content for your need, for your knowledge and domain of expertise. And you can, in different language and different time zone. So I highly recommend you because I'm going there myself to learn a lot of skills. And if you're not familiar with Microsoft Learn, so maybe let's go back a bit about Microsoft mission. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And in this world that is really driven by technology, access to technical skills is part of the mission. And we had, for this reason, we brought together a lot of great content, a lot of great resources, experts, sandbox, tutorials, and learning path for you to be able to keep up with the technology pace and to learn new skills. So also, we at Microsoft leverage the Microsoft Learn to learn new skills, and it's free. You can learn at any time with your own pace and to acquire new skills. So you can scan this QR code if you haven't already to learn new skills. And if you are, and I guess that you are, interested in AI, so we also have this AI Learning Hub that is really focused about AI with a lot of great and focused learning path that's relevant to different type of expertise, of roles. Please check it out as well, and leverage the great content that we have there. So in the previous series that were a few months ago, we had several sessions. We had sessions about creating AI application with semantic kernel, with LangChain. We had a great session about the FOMO of Copilot, right? Those are great sessions together with learning how to chat with your documents. All of them are available in our Microsoft Reactor YouTube playlist. You can scan this QR code to join the many that already have seen those content and to enjoy even much more additional content. In this series, this month, we had sessions about AI models, about how to evaluate AI models, how to do the grounding, and specifically in the industry of healthcare as a case study. And today we have an amazing session we will be shortly touch. But before that, I want to equip you with some full opportunities. We have, in 1 week, we have a great workshop. It's called Building AI Apps. It's called Hackathon, but it's a workshop with predefined challenges and mentors. We do have some few spots that are available for you to reach out and to access this workshop. So you can scan this QR code. You will also get it in the post email after this session. You are welcome to join it. It's online, it's free, you can join if there is going to be available seats, but if not, maybe you can join to the upcoming ones. And in the end of June, we're going to have another great workshop. Is a great workshop about building copilots, again with the mentors, with predefined challenges on a sandbox. Go ahead, secure your spot. And if you are hackathons, you love hackathons, so check, and you also like prizes, check out this worldwide about building AI apps with the Cosmos. There is a prize of 10,000K. If you already start working on a project or a startup, check it out. Why not getting prizes? And last week we had a Microsoft build. I hope that many of you joined it. A lot of great announcement, a lot of great content. But if you haven't, you can still scan this QR code and watch a lot of great on-demand content and workshop and a lot of great content that we had there. Check it out. And I guess that many of you are coding on VS Code and leveraging the GitHub Copilot, and you probably want to learn more about the GitHub Copilot or the latest announcement with the extensions and maybe workspaces. So soon, next month, we're going to have this online virtual EMEA Galaxy. Check it out. We will also share that on chat and in the following emails. Before we're going to start, just a few logistical notes. So we have this chat, and during the entire event, you can use that chat and type your questions. And our moderators will pop up that questions to the speakers. So Yaniv will be able to answer the question probably at the end of the event. And the event will be recorded. So you will receive the recording at the end of the session or in the following emails. However, if you just got the link forwarded to you or registered through the Reactor, you would like to sign up, scan this QR code and sign up to the event to get the follow-up email with the materials, with the deck of the presentation. So if you haven't, this is your time, because the registration to this event will be ending up when we're going to finish the event or in the next 1 hour. So please do it right now. We'll also send it over the chat. And lastly, we're doing those sessions for you to get to learn new skills. And for that, we need to get your feedbacks. Was the session was good for you? What are the new skills? What are the new content that you would like us to provide to you and get the best experts from Microsoft to speak and to share their knowledge? So Please, at the end of the session, we're going to put on the chat a Q&A a survey. So please fill it up. It's like 3 minutes to get to know from you what is it that you would like us to do or to provide you with information. And with this long opening, I would like to hand over to Yaniv. Yaniv Vaknin is a senior technical specialist in generative AI in Microsoft. He's part of a team that's called GBB, which is a global black expert. I mean, he's our expert in everything related to generative AI, and I'm really thrilled to have today Yaniv with us. To talk about one of the hottest topics, right? So thank you for joining. Yaniv, over to you.
Cool. Thank you very much, Adi. It's really a pleasure, really excited to share with you some insights about multi-agents. So let me know if you can see my screen.
We can see you and shortly your screen. You probably want to share your screen again.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay, now?
Perfect. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so hi everyone. Really a pleasure to share with you some insights about multi-agents, and you know, we've seen a lot of buzz and hype around this topic in the last couple of months. And during this session, I would like to answer a few questions and to share with you some insights based on this topic. So yeah, can you see the next screen?
Yes.
Great, so it's working. Yeah, so in the last couple of years, I had the pleasure of building AI products in my startup, technical specialist in a big corporate, and leading engineering and AI teams in different groups, companies. And today I'm working as a technical specialist at Microsoft. And I prepared, I think, a cool agenda for today. We will try to figure out what is the motivation of working with multi-agent frameworks, how we can leverage the wisdom of the crowd in favor of our LLM app. Do we have research that support this buzz and this hype, and can we improve the accuracy with this type of technology or framework? We will have a chance to meet Priya. Priya is a VP engineering in a big tech corporate, and based on her requirements, I've built a demo and I will share it with you. I think in the end we will have an opportunity to share with you the notebook. And super interesting stuff, how to evaluate multi-agent frameworks. So we are familiar with the basic evaluation method, LMCs, which you are probably familiar with, and we will have the opportunity to explore what are the evaluation methods for multi-agent frameworks. So I would like to start with an interesting story. So 100 years ago, a guy called Francis Galton ran an experiment. He asked, and maybe some of you heard about this experiment, he asked almost 800 villagers to guess the weight of an ox. Surprisingly, none of them shared the right answer, but when he averaged the different answers, the average was really close. How close? 10 pounds. And it's not just another story because, you know, it's not just an old story, because 10 years ago, a guy called Lior Zoref reproduced the same experiment. There were 500 estimates, and you can see here in the screen, it was on TEDx. It was the lowest was 300 pounds, and the highest was more than 8,000 pounds. And Feel free to share. I will give you a few seconds to share in the chat what is your estimation for this, what is the weight of this ox. Let's wait a couple of seconds. Okay, do we see some interesting answers? Maybe some of you will find the right answer. Okay, interesting. Okay, so yeah, so the actual weight was 1,795, and you consider that the difference was only 3 pounds, which is quite of amazing. And you know, it's an interesting story or interesting experiment how you can leverage the wisdom of a crowd. Different people with different skill set, different knowledge, etc. But when we combine the power of this group or this team, we are getting much more accurate result. And this is a good segue for our topic today because I think it was 2 years ago when this guy, Yohei Nakajima, started with the concept of task-driven autonomous agent. And here you can see we have we have the user, and we have like 3 different agents. An agent that creates the task, maybe it is the planner, and an agent that executes the task. We have a task prioritization agent. Maybe it was not mature enough, but today we have like mature solutions, and they connected it to a memory. And this was the first concept of running autonomous agent. But it sounds like interesting. I understand the concept, but is it make sense? And do we have like a research that support when we are taking model X, we had like different agents on top of it? Would it improve the accuracy? So I guess this is a question you ask. And actually, there is a super interesting, I really recommend you to read it. More agents is all you need. When they built an ensemble of agents, and they took different models, different size. I think it was 1 year ago, but you can see here that the smaller model, in this case, they used Llama 13B, and they improved the accuracy by almost 50% from 38 accuracy to almost 60%, which is quite amazing. And you can see here that it outperformed the orange model, the Llama 2 70B, with an ensemble of agents. And here you can see, so the answer to this question, no, they didn't outperform GPT-4 with GPT 3.5 in this case, but you can see it's really, really close. So from 70% to almost, you can see here the gray line is the GPT-4, almost 90%, which is quite impressive. And I think that now that we understand that it is a good solution, is it like the silver bullet for all your application and for all of the use case? One would ask this question: can I deploy this solution in my application? So the short answer is no. It is really based on what is your scenario or use case, and you can see here different use cases. So for MMLU, human EVA, which are quite familiar, LLM test, and GSM, grade school math 8000 question, you can see that the curve is quite steep. And for chess, maybe it's not a good solution. Maybe some of you can think about, you can think of why for chess it's not a good solution. But I think now you have a broader perspective about, okay, we can leverage it, we can improve the accuracy of our application, but it really depends. It really depends on what is the use case. So I recommend to evaluate what is the use case and then to check if it can really, improve the performance. So now that we cover the motivation and we have some results and we understand the use case, let's check some the frameworks. So there are plenty of frameworks out there, really great frameworks with really nice and interesting performance. And at the end, I think at the end of this webinar, now we will learn how to evaluate. So I found these three predominant frameworks: LangGraph based on LangChain, AutoGen, and Crew AI. Again, there are other frameworks as well, and I encourage you to evaluate them as well. But for this webinar, I took the recommendation of Andrew Ng. I guess most of you are familiar with Andrew Ng, the founder of Deep Learning AI, Coursera, ML courses, etc. He is a fan of AutoGen. So today we will focus on AutoGen. And before we will focus on AutoGen, so AutoGen is it's an open source and it's a part of a broader ecosystem by Microsoft of ecosystem of open sources that can really boost the performance of your LLM application. If you would like to compress your prompt, so you might consider use LLM Lingua. If you would like to expedite your LLM ops, so you might consider use prompt flow and so on and so forth. Before we will, let's start with the pillars of AutoGen, and I think these are the pillars for any multi-agent framework. So we would like to understand what is the level of autonomy, how do we terminate the chat, and how do we, what is the structure of the conversation. So with AutoGen, we have, I think the most important is what is the level of autonomy. So we have a human input, never, which is like, to some extent, it's like full autonomy. Always to get always feedback from the user, from the human, and terminate where we can define a condition, and then the framework terminates the chat. And we have the chat termination, so we don't want like a fluffy discussion, so we can define what is the maximum turns and maximum consecutive auto reply. And then really important for us as as developers, what is the structure of the conversation? Is it one to a user discuss with the agent, or it discuss with a group? You can build a sequential chat. I'm discussing with chat like for customer support. So we have like a tier 1 support, tier 2, maybe have a different skill set, different tools, more knowledge, etc. And maybe we can use like a different model. So for like the tier 1, we can use like the basic model, the smaller model, and with that we can reduce our solution cost, etc. So it is supporting all these types, but you can build your own type, but it really important to understand what is your conversation patterns and what is the level of autonomy. So how it works, let's take this use case where we would like to evaluate the performance of these two stocks, Meta and Tesla. Where is NVIDIA, right? And we have like different agents. So we have like a class called user proxy agent and assistant agent. And one of them is executing the code. The other one is, you can see here, the agent is answering. We have a problem with the module with Y-Finance. Okay, so I need to install it. Okay, and you can see here the full discussion. And here you can see now please plot percentage change, etc. And this is the output, which is quite impressive. So now that we understand the basic stuff and we have some understanding of the pillar, let's talk about your use case or your product. And before we would like to build something, before we would like to, write a single line of code, we would like to understand the use case. So today we have an opportunity to meet Priya. Priya is a VP engineering in a big tech corporate. She's really excited from the concept and really professional with LLMs. And she's a fan of, how LLM can leverage the legal domain, and she would like to execute the research to research the domain. So we have like a few questions that we would like to ask. So what are the available solutions on GitHub? What are the most popular solution? I would like to read, and in my previous company, I was an entrepreneur. I did the same steps. So technical evaluation, due diligence, to make sure it is a viable solution. So to learn about this domain, what is the trend? So what are the top 3 or 5 articles in the last month with the search engine? In this case, we use the Bing. And what are the landscapes? So if a startup, an entrepreneur would like to raise money, so who are the startups that raised money during the last month? And I would like you to take it only from TechCrunch or any other source of knowledge. But okay, so we have the questions, and now we consider to build a solution. No, because maybe we have like an available solution. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can Google it. So let's Google it. Okay, so the question is, who are the 5 leading GitHub repositories on LLM for the legal domain? This is our question. Fair enough. And we can see here that the answer, so this is the first link, the repository is dedicated, summarizing papers. No, this is not what I'm looking for. The second answer, awesome LLM. Okay, maybe it is. A curated list of large language model. No, I haven't seen here legal domain, legal tech, or something similar. Yeah, so let's check another alternative. Maybe we can Bing it. Who are the same question here? You can see. So the first, it's better, but this is not what I was looking for. Liquid Legal Institute. No, I was looking for like structured data, a link, description, how popular it is. You can see here leading. So I guess more GitHub stars, etc. No, so we have like a validation of the solution because neither Google nor Bing gave us an accurate answer. So maybe let's autogen it. So you can see here it's the same question, defining here some stuff, and we have the admin. This is me, I'm asking the question, and we have like a group of agents. We have the planner, building the plan, developer, writing and you can see here the task, right? Writing the Python code. So I will review with you in a couple of minutes the full solution, but before we are diving into the solution, we would like to validate it. So so what you probably ask, what is the final answer? So this is the final answer, which is quite impressive. The task has been successfully completed. Top 5. This is exactly what I was looking for. We have the name of the repo, and you can see the relevancy. So low LLM makes sense. Legal LLM, legal chat. I don't know what is GLM, Docutron. It makes a lot of sense, and this is quite impressive structure. I have the GitHub link, the stars, etc. So we evaluated a few solutions. Now we have like the solution, and now we will review the code, and I will share it with you. Let me know if you can see my screen in a couple of seconds.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so we have this Python notebook. So we have like, I will try to review the few concepts, important concepts, and it's a lot of experimental A/B testing, checking different scenarios. I will try to highlight some of the most important topics here in this Python notebook. So here we can define this is our API. We can define different models. In this case, I used GPT-4 Omni, but you can define different types of model, both the GPT-4 family, GPT 3.5, open sources, etc. So here you have like a dictionary and you can define it. We define the configuration of the model, temperature, caching option, and this is like the cool stuff. So here we are building our team, and you can really define your team, what is the system message or what you are expecting. And another interesting parameter here is the description. So I found it really useful to use this parameter, because you define the chat manager when it should call this agent. So if you need guidance, or the program is not working as expected, and do not call this agent, etc. So we have like a few agents, and you can see now that we are learn about human input mode. So now you understand what is always. We always, if the user admin, we always need an input when the chat manager decide that this is the next speaker. And the next one is the developer, and you can see here, like, this is the system message. It's quite short prompt. I don't know, a couple of hundreds, maybe 100 tokens, but during the A/B testing and iteration, so really guided this developer, and you can build your own developer if you prefer certain stuff, documentation, etc. This is something really nice. So it tried to import library, so it didn't write the right command. So I asked him to use this command, bash pip install module name, etc. And we have like best practices of prompt. So analyze the problem, revisit your assumption. I assume it's quite familiar for those of you that ran a few prompts. So we have like developer, the planner is building the plan, executor, and this is interesting. So I would like to highlight this one. So the executor is a user proxy agent, and you can run your code in a Docker, and this is the working directory, and it is not engaging with the human, but you can define if you would like a higher level of control. So you can define here always, but again, you can play with it, but I found it really impressive. And yeah.
Is it possible to a little bit enlarge the font? There are comments that want to see. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Thanks for your comment. And now it's better.
Seems so. Let's see what the comment's gonna say. Yes, but it looks much better. Thanks.
Okay, now it's even better. Thanks for your question. So we have a quality assurance. So it's kind of is the planner is building a plan and is evaluating, is it make sense, and did we use the different resources, etc. It can help us to find bugs in our code. Or even when we think we have like the final solution, you can evaluate if it resonates with a user query. And this is something, so the next code cell is really important. So here we have an interesting and cool feature where we can define what are the allowed transitions. So developers that would like a higher level of control or granularity, so they can define that the executor is speaking only with the developer, etc. So you can build the structure. I know it's kind of complicated maybe to understand the graph and the connection, the entities, the edges, the nodes, etc. So I will share with you in a couple of seconds the graph. And we have the system manager. So here we're building the group and we defined who are the agents. Allowed or disallowed the speaker transition, we already defined it here. Okay. And send introduction. So I recommend to use this flag as true. So at the beginning of the conversation, we are starting with an intro. So, hi, my name is developer. You can call me when you need to write code, etc. So we're increasing the awareness of the team, so everyone, every team member understand who is the other team member, and it's really important for the manager to understand the capabilities and call me if you need X, don't call me if you need Y. Yeah, so here we are representing this code, representing the connection between the different agents. And you can see here that the developer is working with other agents and admin, planner, etc. And now the cool stuff. Okay, so we are starting our chat. And yeah, so we ask the same question: what are the top, the 5 leading GitHub repositories? So we have the admin, the planner is building the plan. You can see the plan is doing quite impressive work where it defined the search criteria, who is the team member, who is the owner of this step. And yeah, so you can see here, this is the final answer, but you can see here that yeah, so this is our plan. We are is writing the code. We have an import issue which we can solve in various cases, but you know, I just wanted to share with you a natural way of you know, of the chat. Developer is improving and fixing some bugs, and you can see here the executed running the code is getting the first answer, and then
If
okay,
people
now
asking if they can get the notebook after the session, or
yeah,
is there...
sure. So I prepared it in advance, and yeah, I will share a link. Yeah, I assumed you will ask this question. So yeah, the short answer is yes. Yeah. So here you can see an interesting stuff where it takes 10. And remember, I asked him only 5. So he take 10 examples, and I guess he will evaluate the top 5 based on certain criteria and quality assurance. So finalist is in the process as well. So he's evaluating, verification, double check the finalist. Okay, this is super cool. The task is now complete and the finalist. So we have the finalist. The structure is quite good. This is what I was looking for. We have the link. This short description, which is much better, so I can understand that this LLM, an intelligent legal system, this is exactly what I was looking for. So I can check this GitHub repo later on. I can see 400, more than 400 stars, quite impressive, and forks, and that's it. And okay, so now we have another question, and you can define different questions, and you can see that arbitrary question, and you can see here that is, you know, building a purpose-built or a dedicated solution for each question. Yeah, so the next question is find the 3 most popular articles on GenAI, and it's quite, you can see that the query is quite complicated. So it's not a straightforward question. So we need 3 articles which are popular on GenAI for legal domain. Okay, nice. In the last month, based on Bing search or any other search engine, and I'm asking a markdown table. Okay, so we have like a similar process. We have the planner is building the plan, In this case, we will need API key. So we need, for this use case, we need API key, so you can get it like in a couple of seconds or minutes. And now you can see here, yeah, so this is the plan. Okay, here you can see the plan, the developer. This is the structure. So this would be the final structure, and the executor is running the code. Okay, now we need an API key. So it goes without saying that we need to provide the API key. So we provided the API key, and this is the developer code. And yeah, we have like the final answer, and we have a markdown table. So let's check the results, if they are relevant or not. GenAI use cases for legal professionals, Thomson Reuters. Yeah, looks good. The do's and don'ts. Okay, I should read it, or I should read it. The do's and don'ts, again, legit resource, and Forbes, the understanding the legal and regulatory landscape of GenAI. Okay, maybe we'll have opportunities. So we have like for legal professionals, do's and don'ts, and the landscape. The answer is quite good, and this is what I was looking for. And the next task is based on TechCrunch, and you can try to scrap the query. Find 3 articles on companies. Okay, we try to break down the entities. 3 articles, companies developing LLM for legal domain that raised seed round. And in this case, I asked him to use a different API, SERPer, search engine API. So, okay, we have the planner. Again, he's building the plan, and this is the final answer. So we have, and you can see all of the resources. So in this case, I asked only from TechCrunch, which is quite a legit source. Okay, so we have like 3 companies. Interesting. Cradle aims to connect company data to LLMs. Lakera, protect large language models, etc. And that DZ want to rank and filter data to make generative AI. What else do we have here? Okay, yeah, so quite impressive. And now if I would like to build it in a more structured way, so I'm asking the group to generate, and you can see here the task, based on the previous resources, GitHub, Bing, SERPer, please summarize the current state of LLM for legal and suggest a plan to contribute to the field. And I'm asking him to save it as a executive summary.pdf. And so let's check the final answer. I will try to switch between the screens. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see it? PDF?
On my end, I can see only the VS code.
No. Okay. Never mind. So it generates a PDF file where you can get executive summary with all the links and all the relevant data. So I can read it, I can share it, and people can consume it in a much better and effective way to consume data. And again, I assume that this research would take a few hours or a few days. But here with just like a couple of lines of code, we generated a team that can support these questions, but it's a broader, and you can use it for a different use case. It can be customer support. So we have different agent, tier 1, tier 2, manager, etc. And really leverage the capabilities of LLM and multi-agent. And I guess that the next question would be, just a second, I will switch between the screens. Okay, I guess that now you can see it.
We can see the presentation.
Okay, good. The evaluation slide?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we have like a traditional, again, it's 1 year old, but we have the LMC's evaluation model, which is quite good. But it's not a good evaluation for multi-agent or a team. So there is an interesting framework, and you can see it that this evaluation called Gaia. So it's a general AI assistant, but it's kind of similar to the concept of multi-agent. And you can see here Jan LeCun, Meta, Facebook AI Research, Hugging Face wrote this paper. You can see that it's approximately 6 months old. And it's a good evaluation framework to evaluate like real-time use cases where advanced challenges like reasoning, multimodality, web browsing, kind of real-life scenario. So I really recommend to check this evaluation method. And here you can see this is the leaderboard. So there are different types of questions. So we have level 1 to level 3. Level 1 is kind of simple challenge or a simple question task where you have only between 0 to 5 steps. So, you can imagine the previous VS Code. So you have like only 5 steps. Level 2, it's a bit more complicated, so it's 5 to 10 tasks, and you can understand that the level 3 is the most complicated. And you can see based on this leaderboard, you can see that the first place with average score of 32, it's the AutoGen framework, so it's Microsoft research team. So in this case, they used the AutoGen, which is quite good for you to understand how they measure it. But I think this paper written by Jan LeCun and the folks from Meta is quite important for you to evaluate different AutoGen frameworks. Yeah, so I think we have time for questions. Feel free to share it. I will check if I can see it.
Okay, so meanwhile, feel free to like Yaniv said, write your questions over chat. Now we have quite a big question for you, Yaniv. Is with the questions goes like that. With AI will be the next sensation. Will it be possible to settle for unified programming language? Is it possible that a unified programming language is adopted?
This is quite yeah. So I don't have a good solution, but I think that if I understand correctly your questions, I think that and I'm not saying I'm not the first one that's saying it. I think that English or natural language will be the next programming language. So under the hood, we are using different Python, C, etc. But I think now with the GenAI, we have an opportunity to ask the GenAI frameworks or the LLMs to write code. So instead of us writing a code and explaining the computer what we are asking, print X plus Y. So we're asking the computer, we are asking the LLM, I want you to execute this task. and he's defining the plans, and I don't need to understand like or to write it in Python or in C or whatever, .NET or any other language. So the short answer is, in my humble opinion, that English is the next programming language. I hope I answered your question. But I think it's kind of a philosophic discussion.
Thank you. I will wait. Let's wait. There is a little bit of delay, so it's a great opportunity for everyone to write down the questions on the chat.
Okay,
there is
now
also a question, a follow-up question about the notebook. So if it will be possible, maybe you can create the repo or the notebook, and then we can attach it to the video on the Reactor on the YouTube playlist.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You will be.
Yeah, so it's ready. So I will share the link with YouTube or Reactor link to the video.
Oh, if it's ready, you mean you need to, if it's ready, so you can share it now, and if you need to work on it, so we will share it with the videos.
Okay.
Okay, we have more questions. Next question. Just a second. Does this allow us to analyze the whole documentation or coding project or creating them?
So, sorry, can you repeat the question?
I guess that the question is, does
okay, now I can read it. Does this allow us to analyze all documentation or coding or creating them? So I'm not sure I understand fully understand the question, but I think there are different components. So I think that this question refers to the multimodality. So we have like documentation, and we would like to analyze it, different types of documentation. Maybe it's like text or any other modalities. But if it's only text, so if you would like to analyze the documentation, yeah, so we have like solutions. So LLM, like GPT-4 can analyze the whole documentation, and you can ask him questions. Can you summarize this document? Or for coding, yes, for coding, it's writing code, evaluate the quality of code, refactor. So you can ask him this question or ask him to execute this task. We have like a code block or an application, and we would like him to refactor the code. So I don't think it's mature enough today to ask him to build a full application. There are a couple of solutions out there like Devin or a software engineer agent by Princeton, which are quite good, but you know, there are different opinions regarding it. But if you have like 5 lines of code and you have a bug, it's quite easy for you to leverage GPT or any other LLM to solve this bug.
Thank you. Next question. What is the level of coding and debugging that is available through AutoGen agents?
Okay, so you can see you saw the code, and you can run different scenarios with this code, and you can define what are the capabilities of this developer. So under the hood, you are using an LLM engine. In this case, I used GPT-4 Omni. So it's a mixture. So you have like 2 layers. The first layer is the LLM. So it can be GPT 3.5, Llama, or GPT-4 Omni. So this is the first layer. And on top of it, you can add capabilities. I think that the added value of AutoGen is how do you integrate it as a team. So how the developer, and you can, you know, imagine if you're working for a tech company or any other company, you have a team where you have like the product manager, so you can build a product manager agent, and you have like the developer, the QA, and each team member bringing to the table different capabilities. So the QA usually will check the code, writing tests, etc. And maybe we'll have the manager or the research folks, and we can add a data scientist. So evaluating the performance of coding and debugging. So I mentioned earlier different purpose-built software agents like Devin. Devin is managed service, and you have the software engineer by Princeton. So you can check this repo. Can I maybe while I'm speaking, can I stop sharing my screen? Is it okay, Adi?
Yeah, go ahead. I just to let you know that we have a lot of questions, so maybe we would like to have short answers.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, and the next question.
Have you tried building a multi-agent environment that would work in its roles on an external document, for example, Microsoft Word file? I say this form because, for example, every few iterations, the user could direct the agents.
Yeah, so the short answer is you can define the level of control and human input. Okay, so I don't think, and maybe I don't understand the question, I don't think that evaluating a Word document is quite a complicated task. I think the tasks that require much more steps, like 5 or 10 or 20 steps, this is where AutoGen shines.
Thanks. How much input can this multi-agent framework take? Is it more than just one AI or not?
So in terms of human input, so it really depends on the bottom layer. So the LLM. So if we are using GPT for Omni, you have like a context of, if I recall, 128 K tokens. So I think this is the only limitation. But I think as a best practice, you should consider working the concept of micro LLMs instead of one monolith LLM. So dividing the task into a more granular task.
Next one. Is there a conceptual difference between LangGraph and AutoGen? Second, do you recommend using HighStack with AutoGen, or is it also okay to use LangChain plus AutoGen?
Yeah, so it really depends on you. The first step is I recommend or I encourage you to work with LangGraph and AutoGen, and different developers have different criteria. So you can find that LangGraph is better for you, and or AutoGen is better for you, and you can, as a reference, you can use the Gaia framework. So this is my recommendation. It really depends. I really found it cool. Another criteria is how many GitHub stars, so you can check it, and how many forks and issues, etc. But it really depends on your use case. Based on my experience, it was a good one.
Next one, the agent we saw were developed in LangGraph framework, or was it a custom one?
No. So the code that I share with you I developed it in AutoGen. So it's pure AutoGen, no LangChain or LangGraph. And I think for me, at least, it's more structure, and it's easier for me to understand the concept where you have an agent, you have a group, and you can define what are the allow transition, what are the conversation patterns. So the short answer is no, it's only AutoGen. I didn't use LangChain or LangGraph in this example.
The demo showed predefined agents. Is it possible to let the planner admin agent decide the type of agents required and create them dynamically based on each problem request?
Okay, this is a really great question. So another capability which I didn't share, again because we don't have time, it's the teachable agent. So you have like two types of knowledge. So you have the system message, and you don't want the user to change it, but you can teach your agent to behave in a certain structure. So once I'm asking the group to summarize the document, I can ask him, when I'm asking you to summarize the content, I wanted to build a structure of intro, recommendations, only 5 topics, etc. And then the next time he saved it in a vector database. I think it's Chroma. And the next time you will ask the question, can you summarize it? He will remember, he's checking his memory, and he will answer your question with the structure that you ask, like 5 topics, intro, recommendation. So I encourage you to check the teachable agent, which is a class of agent implemented by AutoGen.
Last one, as we are short in time. Is it possible for an AI tool to search and create a database Is it possible for an AI tool to search and create a database complete with the numbers and addresses without a lot of end user effort? Is there a code for that?
Yeah, so theoretically, I assume it is possible. I didn't try it. You need connectors, so it can write the code, but if you need, and you saw it in our example. So if you need API key, permissions, etc., you need a subscription. So, but once you have it, you can provide it to the user or to the AutoGen, provide the API key and credentials, etc. So theoretically, yes, it can build the database, etc., or any other example.
Okay, last few, as we still have them coming. Let's see. There is a question, I'm not sure what developing is the future in developing programming. Not sure that I understand the question. Whether do you?
Can you repeat, please?
Stelios, if you would like to rephrase the question, so please write it over chat. The question was developing is the future in developing programming. No, I'm not sure that I follow. Please.
Yeah. So maybe I understand. Okay. I think I understand it. So yeah, you need to be very prescriptive on what you are asking. If you are asking the group to write a code, so maybe it will understand you and maybe not. And maybe I will give an example during the time that I've built this notebook. So I asked him to search for legal LLM, and in one scenario, the planner think it would make a lot of sense to find similar keywords. So he wanted to use AI. But I didn't want legal for AI. I wanted specifically legal for LLM. So sometimes you will get much better answers that you didn't expect. And sometimes you will need to define. So I think you need to describe, in some cases, you will need to describe exactly what you are looking for. And in some cases, you would be surprised.
Thank you. Another question. Is it possible to train the agents system for specific use cases? What does it require?
So when you are referring to training, I understand it is to educate. So I think it resonates with the teachable agent. So you can teach him what you are asking from him. And next time it will behave in this certain behavior. So I mentioned the example of when I'm asking you to summarize, I'm asking for 5 topics, etc. And this is the structure. So I think if I understand you correctly, train equals to teach. Okay. So I share with you here in the chat, by the way, this is a basic. I prepared it yesterday, so it's just a draft. It's not it's the notebook, and you can use it. But again, if you're looking something more mature for production, so it's not a production ready, but it's just an experiment I ran So I encourage you to play with it and consider to buy on top of it, to build on top of it, maybe a nice UI with Streamlit, and if you would like to contribute, so I encourage you. But this is just only a basic notebook where you can play with it and connect your LLM to this notebook.
So there is a question that might be a segue, but there is a question by Sadiq asking about opportunities in AI, where or how to start. So I can give you the stage to answer that, and then I can answer on the opportunities that we have in Microsoft for learning.
Yeah, so wow, this is a broad question. I think we are in a tipping point where you will have to earn some new skill set. Today, it's much easier than before. I joined the industry more than 10 years ago, and today it's much easier for you to build some cool stuff without understanding the bits and bytes and the low level of your solution. Having said that, the challenge is bigger because this opportunity is not available for you only. So there are many smart folks out there that are trying to build. If you are an entrepreneur and you would like to build startup, you will need to differentiate. And again, so the barrier is lower, but the competition is much more vibrant. So, but yeah, I think we are living in the midst of this of the fifth revolution, and really looking forward to what people will build in the future.
So with that, I would like to conclude the session and say a big thank you, Yaniv, for sharing with us your knowledge and creating this great presentation. And obviously, thank you so much for everyone who joined today to learn and to acquire a new skill set that is relevant for the future. I'm sharing on the main screen the 3 sessions that we had in this series. We will share soon on the chat the survey. So please fill it out, so we'll know what's going to be the next in the V3 session version of our series. So again, big thank you. And also to add up to what Yaniv said about the opportunities and how to learn about AI. So in the email that you will get, thank you email that you will get after this session, you will see links to Microsoft Lab. Like I presented at the beginning, we have this free platform for you to learn about AI, building apps with AI or everything related, even if you are not that technical, even as a product mindset of what is needed, how to build AI features, AI application, and then when you are going deeper into whether it's AI engineer, whether it's DevOps that want to understand about the new concept of AI products. A lot of great, and if you are you need to create architectures for your application. So a lot of great learning modules, learning path and modules about learning about AI. So it's a great place to start. A lot of great sandbox to just try it out for free. So check it out in our email. And if you would like to see the previous, it seems like it's stuck. Okay, so if you would like to see the recording of our past events or to get familiar with a beginner or advanced content, check out the Reactor YouTube, check out the Reactor upcoming events, all free, all for you. Just try it out, and we are here for you. Thank you so much for joining and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.